You're live. You're on the air. It is that time. 7 a.m. That's right. My time. Whatever your time is, it doesn't matter. It's coffee talk time. Bam.
It's coffee talk with ADIKA. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here with Stefan and all his friends.
Settle down. Enough of that stuff. Enough. I know. I'm fabulous. I'm great. I have a theme song. That's right. And I have a handsome smile in the morning. Hey, welcome everybody to the show today. I have a great show. It is that time. It is December 29th. And the year's almost over. If it's your first time here, do me a favor. Don't hawk me China. Just subscribe to this channel, okay? It's a lot of fun. It's madness, nonsense, a bunch of nothing. We interview people. We have a doctor on the show. Hit the bell just like below. But I just wanted to maybe say hi to you and introduce some new friends to you, okay? We're going to talk about some trending topics that might bother maybe my co-host or maybe you. So if you get offended, just close your eyes for a moment, but stick with me for this quick 30 minutes. Grab your coffee, fix your wigs, get your life together. Let's take a sip. Obnoxious, right? That sip, that slurp in the morning. And don't forget to find us on your favorite Spotify, Apple podcast. We're all over the place. It's a lot of fun. Take me in the car, take me in the bath. Just enjoy ADIKA. Everybody, let's welcome the wonderful, let's give him his theme song. He's a doctor.
Ask the doctor what you should do. Ask the doctor a question or two. It's all right here on Coffee Talk. It's all pain-free without the shot. All advice is free. Please call 911 if you need assistance.
Dr. G, welcome. Not only you're on this show, you're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere, iHeartRadio. Aren't you happy I'm making you famous?
Yeah, it's all about you.
It is all about me. It is. Let's see. Who's in the chat really quick? We're going to talk about a couple of things, a little trending news, but I'm going to bring a friend of mine. His name is Chuck, and he has a great show. And he interviews people. Actually, matter of fact, he had David Duchovny on his show. And when I was watching his show, I'm like, man, I want David Duchovny. I didn't think Duchovny would ever talk to me, but Chuck did it right. He interviewed the guy right. He asked the right questions. And Duchovny comes on my show. I know nothing about the guy, and I just do it all the opposite way. So you get two different sides. You got a guy who does the research, the right thing. He's a professional. He's professional guy. He's And I went on his show last night with a bunch of other professional people. I got to tell you what I learned.
Tell us.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That's what I learned. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Don't know. But I see we have a lot of everybody. It's almost 2021 is almost over. And look at the people who stuck with us here. That's here. We got everybody in. The first one in the chat that started writing. You know who is here? You know who's here?
Got lots.
Oh, we got Debbie. Debbie Mull is here. We got Darnell is here.
Darnell, yeah.
They're all here. Renee is here.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have any questions for the doctor about health or madness, we're going to talk about that. It's good to see everybody here. Flavia, really nice to see.
Jenny, yeah.
Jenny, who else do you see in the chat? Because I don't see so good. I can't find my glasses this morning.
Or Jackie.
Jackie? Hi, Reverend Jenny. Zandra's here. Mm-hmm. I'm glad everybody's here.
Oh my goodness! And Mitch Weissman.
Is Mitch Weissman? Mitch Weissman. Oh, big mazel to Mitch. You know what? I love you, Mitch. And I'm gonna send him an invite. Maybe he'll come on because I'm gonna have Chuck interview Mitch if he can make it. Let's see if I could do this. The show is Mitch Weissman. Mitch, you can't do the last show of the year without you. Mitch Weissman, legendary Paul McCartney of Beatlemania, Winter Garden Theater. Alrighty. Enough chit chat. Dr. G, let's bring my friend up. Wonderful guy. Wonderful. And look how handsome he is. Look at him.
The most handsome Beatle.
Look at him. The Chuck Shute podcast. Look, say goodbye to 2021. Special guest. Chuck, welcome to the show. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Don't hawk in China. Come on. Give him a round of applause.
Hey! Oh.
What's happening?
Hey, Chuck, welcome.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So, Dr. G, Meet Chuck. Chuck, meet Dr. G. We're very
Hello, Chuck.
professional.
Hey, Dr. G.
I'll move us around a little, maybe do a little of this, fix yourselves together. But, we're here together. Usually we have a Corey here, but Corey's...
Yeah, Corey Leviton or whatever.
That's right.
What's
Corey's he's doing some stuff right now. He went secret agent on us. But
He did.
Yeah, his secret agent stuff. And we also have Joe Bash is here, and we got my dogs in the background barking. Chuck's asking me about my lighting in the back. He goes,
Your lighting camera is like professional. You're saying you don't know what you're doing. You got an amazing theme song, lighting, camera. You got all the Patreon, all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. All I know is one thing. I do know what I'm doing. I get to meet good people like you. Chuck has a great show on YouTube. He interviews a lot of people. He had Duchovny on the show, and he had the famous Ryan Roxy on the show. But you do such a great job, and you do the research, and you have a great trailer. Who did your trailer for you?
I did that myself. Well, except for the the intro, like the wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I just had a guy on Fiverr do that one.
You know what? With the dog, just for the
Deb.
come on. I'm doing a professional show. You have any animals on your show?
No, he hasn't thought of that angle.
Deb Muller.
Jumped on the show.
Look at this. She's excited. 3 studs, huh? Doctor's going to steeple for Deb, Dr. G. Can you steeple for her? Give her a steeple. Look at that. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Deb. And thanks, everybody, for being here. Mitch Weissman can't make it here next time. He left a note. Chuck, heading out to the appointment. He has an appointment. Nice show last night. Mitch, Mitch Weissman, Chuck?
No, I just heard. I was just Googling him because you're like, oh, you can interview him. Like, I better find out who this guy is. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you who he is. He's very important in my life. ADIKA was around 10, 11 years old. I went to the Winter Garden Theater, Beatlemania, Broadway show. It was one of the first maybe tributes to any bands. Now they got all the bands mimicking, you get a lot of.
sure.
I think the Beatle tribute, there's so many Beatle tribute bands, but this was the first. And it was a Broadway show of the years capturing the Beatles' life from 62 to the breakup. And in the back, while they were playing, there was a film rolling, what was going on in the years. It starts out the Kennedy assassination, and then the Beatles come to America and save the world. They're like superheroes.
That's so cool.
And it transforms from the Suits, Sgt. Pepper. It was great. And Mitch was on Happy Days. Joni Love was it Happy Days? Joni Loves Chachi, one of those. He was on an episode of Fridays, and where Larry David played the 5th Beatle or something because John Lennon couldn't show up. And he was the face of Beatlemania. And then a little tidbit: Mitch also wrote with Kiss and played on Gene's solo record, and he wrote songs with Kiss. So I'll introduce you to him. But Mitch, you can't go on the show without me, Mitch Weissman, if you watch it. That's right, Mitch, because Stefan is your agent, Mitch Weissman. That's right, Mitch Weissman. I'm watching you. Don't screw me, because I'll screw you. No.
Nothing but love here.
No, but I'll hook you with Mitch. He's a wonderful guy.
Cool.
How did you get David Duchovny?
Actually, yeah, that's a funny story. So another podcaster had interviewed him, and I saw that, and I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, what? He's interviewing David Duchovny? And so all I did was I commented on his Facebook post, and I said, that's awesome. Very cool. I love, Californication. Without even, I didn't ask him. I didn't message him. He messaged me and said, here's his contact info. Go after it. I was like, what? Wow. So I thought that was really cool. And that's like what I've seen a lot of in this world. I don't know if you can speak from your experience, but with other podcasters, everyone's just helping everybody out. Like, I mean, there's competition, but it's like, it's more friendly, and it's more like you're happy for people when they get a guest or something like that.
See, he meets the right. I meet everybody who wants to just burn me with hot water and scold me, Dr. G. This guy meets like a whole bunch of nice people. I met Dr. G. He takes Dr. G.
Yeah, you're meeting nice people. I met Dr. G.
I met Dr. G. But the problem with Dr. G is, the honest problem with Dr. G is, if you go to him, he doesn't stick his finger in your ass. But he's a great
and as many times as Stefan asked me to stick my finger in his ass, I just wouldn't do it. I said, Stefan, it's like, that's for a later time.
Is that even still a thing? I heard that test doesn't even work.
It doesn't actually. If you have a high PSA, then you do that test. But that's an evaluatory test. It's not supposed to be a screening test. So
Real, so
that's
that is the truth. A high,
Yeah.
Wow, wow. So all the times when the doctors would just do that to you, why were they doing that then? Just
because of tradition, because that's the way it used to be done, and then that's why a lot of doctors still don't know how to order a lab test, because they order something from the 1960s and that's what they consider lab testing, and they haven't evolved their training, they haven't evolved their physical exams, they haven't evolved a lot of things. So that's so we see that a lot in medicine, is that there's a lot of docs who still think in way decades old thinking, and especially the way knowledge is transforming. There's certain things that are worth doing and other things that aren't worth doing that we quote unquote used to do. So why doesn't the doctor bang on your knee anymore? It's because that's useless. Unless you have a knee problem or a tendon problem or a reflex problem, then you do that as an evaluatory exam. But anyway, so yes.
Yeah, the knee freaked me out. My knee would pop up a slight. I go, what the hell? You just touch me. You just we didn't even get to know me.
Exactly. So doing deep tendon reflexes on a screening basis doesn't make any sense. So, a lot of that, and that's built into our system. So the way the doctor bills often is based upon how many questions they ask you, how many physical exam findings they do. So the entire system is built based upon doing things that aren't necessary, so that the doctor can fill out a chart record, and it's more about records than it is about patient care. So it's been a horrible transformation, especially electronic medical records, has been a horrible transformation in medical care, because the doctor is so busy pinging off boxes so that they can, get an extra $10 out of the insurance company.
That's
Well,
what
yeah, I
it's all
remember one
about.
time I asked the doctor, I asked him a question or something, and I talked to him for a few minutes, and they billed me later. I saw it said counseling, and I was like, "How is that? I'm just asking you questions. I'm at a doctor's appointment." Like,
Right.
I don't know. It's fascinating.
Yeah, so and everybody's so interested in just pinging off boxes on a computer, and it's another box I can click and I can get another $10 out of your insurance company. So, it goes something like that. That's
Is
why
it the same too for prescription drugs? They get like a kickback if they prescribe you a drug.
I really wish that was true. I would have a lot more money than I do.
Really?
But no, actually, I don't prescribe many drugs. Actually, no, that's just because of the conditioning. The doctor has been indoctrinated. A doctor currently is a prescriptionist, meaning all they know is drugs. So when you went in to walk to see them, even if you're asking a question about the weather, it's like, we got a drug for that. And so we give you drugs because the average Western physician is a prescriptionist, meaning they write prescriptions. So no matter what you have, we have a prescription for it. But it's like going to the chiropractor and getting an adjustment. You're going to your doctor, you're getting a drug. It's just an agreement between you two, whether you understand the agreement or not.
See this? Look at Reverend Jenny getting her all stirred up right now. Look, she's yelling. Read that.
It is
Dr.
all about
G.
that's what it seems like. It's all about the money. Because you'd think that they would say, if the first time you go to a doctor, let's say you're depressed, they would tell you, okay, exercise, get out there and meet some people, eat better, get some sunshine. Try those things first. Then, if you're really still depressed, then we could go to the pill. But now a lot of times they just go, here's a pill.
Right. Because the prescription is a way to end the conversation. So remember, you have about 5 or 10 minutes, and we need to shut you up and give you something. So the agreement is, I'm going to give you a prescription. You're going to leave the office. Okay. And then I can get to see the next person for 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll give them a drug. And essentially, it's a conversation ender. So the prescription ends the conversation. I answered your question by giving you a drug. I'm a prescriptionist. And it's very interesting, because what you just talked about is why people don't understand medicine. The doctor has no intention of prescribing the things you just talked about, because there is no lobby for it. There is no reason for it. There is only our education is entirely about what uniform thing we can give to everybody that works for everybody. Because there's different exercises for different people. That's too long of a conversation. There's different meditations for different people. That's too long of a conversation. There is one drug there's obviously a lot more than one drug for depression, but there's one drug, that you can give to this, and that affects more people. So I can give you the thing that has double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized clinical trials, act like I'm a scientist, and then hand you something that is essentially non-scientific, because it has the illusion of being scientific, meaning it's a drug.
It's almost like when you go to
in a
doctor,
nutshell.
When you go now to a regular doctor, it's like they're on a clock. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you wait.
Right.
You have the nurse or everything, or the whole big thing, go on the scale, whatever, and they come in there. It's 10, and they're out the door.
Yeah.
And a normal person is too scared to really divulge what's wrong with them, because they want to get out of there. Really, right? Is that true, Doug? Would you agree?
For the most part, is the conversation going to be long enough to really delve into why you have the issues? Because most people are afraid of the whys anyways. They really don't want to get into why. They just want to get into the symptom relief. And that's what you're seeing is a symptom relief prescriptionist. Okay. The doctor gives you a drug that relieves a symptom. Very rarely, almost never has anything to do with the underlying disease. It has to do with treating a symptom. And so it's a great self-perpetuating model, if you will. It's a great business model. But if you see as people wake up, because this is another nice thing with this pandemic, is that we wake up, we can see, hey, if I stay within network with my doctor because I only want to spend $5 for my doctor, you're going to get about $5 worth of medicine. Sorry, because that's your copay. Wow. So if you want about $5 worth of medicine, but I pay for my insurance. That doesn't go to the doctor. The doctor gets about that plus a per member per month if you have a HMO or whatever else like that. It's essentially set up to keep you diseased, and that's what you've become part of.
That's what. Oh my God, Steve! Thank you for the end of this year. Thank you very much, Steve.
God, everyone's giving you money. This is amazing.
They're good people.
I know.
They're good people. My people. They're a crowd that loves me. They're small, they're powerful, and they love the ADIKA.
That's amazing.
They get to that.
It's almost inexplicable, really.
It's a beautiful. Hold on. Let me give them their money's worth. Watch this. This is how you do it, Chuck.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
All right. You all right? Okay. Give you another.
Wow.
Okay.
That was entirely enough of that.
That's not worth. What you two people do? That's worth $10. That's a $10 smile.
I think people are trying to take their money back now.
Pretty much, exactly.
Look, thank you. Laura, thank you to Laura G.
That is sweet.
Laura. Ooh, catch that kiss. Love you. Love you. Catch that kiss. Look, Xandra, you get one too. Oh, my God. She loves it. Everybody loves it. Look at this. Hilarious. I love you people. They're Oakleaf. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Oh, you got a lot of fans.
You know what? They're good people. They stick with me through the good times, to the bad times, to the hard times. It's about making your fans smile. And that's what I like to do. I like to make them smile and all that good stuff. Kenny B, good to see you, Kenny. Well said, Dr. G. And I want to thank you for being a supporter, Kenny. Thank you, and a Merry Christmas, past Christmas, and a Happy New Year to you and your family and everybody. So, Dr. G, it's so bad so the system is basically set up to keep you sick. The doctors don't really care. They went to school for so long.
They care in the way that they've been taught to care. Remember, we have to be careful about this. That idea, the chiropractor's been taught to adjust you. The doctor's been taught to prescribe you. You walked into their door asking for a prescription, whether you understood it or not. Because you understand when you go to the chiropractor, you're probably going to get adjusted, right? That when you walk through the doctor's door, you think you're getting medicine. You're not getting medicine. You're getting prescriptions. That's what we do. Okay, or surgery if we do surgery, and to understand that should come as so wow. If I want to go get advice about something other than drugs, then I probably should see somebody else. Yeah.
Well, can you see a naturopath or like homeopath?
You can see naturopathic physicians, but there's so few naturopathic physicians in the country. So is there that many of those? And again, and of course with me, I do more functional medicine and other things, but the majority of things I do have launched past what you do out of medical school and residencies. It gave you hopefully, tools to become better at becoming a doctor, but it didn't take me long after being an MD and practicing to realize, well, shit, this isn't what I thought it was.
Oh my God! That's
or something
Reverend
like that.
Jenny. Thank you very much. I love you right back. Hold on, it's very important. Reverend Jenny, this is for you. This is for you. And look at Cooking with the Kid. Here's money not to do that again.
Jeez,
Thank you, Cooking with the Kid.
Thank you, Jeff. Finally, a voice of reason comes on. But why?
Cooking with the Kid has a show on YouTube, and the guy, he cooks. His food is made to go see a doctor. He cooks with Velveeta cheese, the poor guy. He's a beautiful man cooking with the kid. But he just
that sounds delicious.
Velveeta cheese? Are you a Velveeta cheese fan?
Oh, yeah. Like the mac and cheese when I was a kid, I used to get that.
You'll like Cooking with the Kid.
Squeeze out.
Yeah.
You'll like his show. Check it out.
You'll love it. Yeah, he's the Velveeta King.
He's the Velveeta King.
In Philadelphia, they put that on the sandwiches.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right here, you have a question right here, Dr. G.
Why isn't your head part of your insurance coverage? Dental, eyes, ears.
That
Again,
is
they
weird.
separated that out. Again, we're the only developed country that doesn't have universal health care. And it goes on and on about how bass backwards our country is in terms of the medical system. And so, do we have advanced care for super specialty medicine and referral centers that are the most elite in the world? Do we have the worst care for the general public? Yes, because they don't have that much money. And that's really what this comes down to. There's a system departmentalizing medicine specialists allowed for a disease to run rampant because they can't see holistically. That's exactly the truth. Subspecialty medicine is really how the average family practice doctor, by the way, refers everything. You have the sniffles, here's an ENT. You have did you burp? Oh my gosh, here's a GI doctor. And you essentially become disintegrated, right? You disintegrated into body parts, and that is the system we have currently. And so, and you go to your specialist for, oh, of course I want to see the burp specialist because nothing else can affect burps other than to see the GI doctor, who of course is very limited in their viewpoint about what can cause problems there. Like, so yes, disintegrative medicine. I practice integrative medicine, which just means medicine, but kind of also the other part of it is you don't take away the psychology of medicine, the spirituality of medicine. So it's this little part we do that's dealing with your body has to be just a small component of dealing with you as a human being. Because you as a human being, hopefully everybody would agree, is actually just a teeny little part of you is the measurable part of you. The immeasurable part of you is really what it probably needs a lot more help. And so that's what we've actually got to work on, and that's a whole different story. But disintegrative medicine, which is separating you into body parts, is a huge part of why we are so ill. Because people think it's the best care. Well, of course I went to see the burp specialist when actually you don't need a burp specialist or whatever. I'm being somewhat facetious, but for cardiologists, you walk into a cardiologist, everybody gets a statin drug, no matter what. And that's because be clear, because they think it's the right thing. They just don't care about the rest of you, okay? Because from a cardiac standpoint, statins make a lot of sense. From a whole human standpoint, well, now there's a whole lot of debate there. So you have to go, if you see a specialist, you're asking for subspecialty medicine, which is the worst medicine for primary care. It's for dealing with end-stage diseases. And so why do you need a subspecialist? Because you have an end-stage disease. Okay.
Doctor, you know what I like about you? In the minute you came on this show, because you actually care. And also, I'm going to do a little plug for him. For everybody, Mondays, if you don't know about it, on Instagram, he goes live at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's middlepathmedicine.com, his website. But till January 8th, there is a discount code if you want to get vitamins and all that stuff from his shop right here. It's discount code coffee20. That's the discount code. Just put in coffee20. It's till January 8th, and you'll get a discount on all the good stuff that Dr. G. I take the Kylock. Is that how you say it? It's the Kylock. What's it called? The garlic with the K. What is that?
Kyolic.
I call it the Kylock.
A Shylock is something different.
That's right. Because in Brooklyn, it's the Shylock that'll get you.
Yes.
So I want the Kylock to get.
Kyolic is a very specific brand of aged garlic extract that has been shown to be helpful in terms of the slowing the progression of coronary artery disease. So and it's been used to treat blood pressure, etc. There are very specific nutrients and things that are used for the long-term health of the person, and something like the Kyolic is useful, and other herbs are useful.
You call it the Kyolic. I call it the Kylock. Now, let me tell you something.
Again, you can call it whatever you want.
I took a heart scan because one day I had doing a YouTube show is the most stressful thing in the world. Would you disagree with me, Chuck? Is it?
Yeah. No, because I worked in education for 17 years, and that was hell. So.
Right. I was going to say having kids. Yeah, there's a few things. Yeah.
You worked in education, huh? What did you do?
Oh my! I was a guidance counselor.
You were?
Awesome. Yeah.
Wow. And so, what made you leave?
It was hell. The stress. It was
parents.
It's just a bad fit. Yeah, the parents. It was a bad fit for me personally. I think some people loved it. Like I wanted to actually counsel people. They want you to be like a secretary and do supervising kids at lunch and like doing paperwork and stuff. And I was like, I'm not into this. This is not. And I just eventually got burned out.
Really? Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Would you take the stress home with you and all that?
Oh yeah. Well, especially at first, like because when you actually did do the counseling and you'd have these kids and they tell you their family stories and then I meet a lot of the parents and stuff, and so and then people they take it out on you. They get mad, they're mad at their own lives, and then they blame the school,
Right.
and then you're like kind of a representative of the school, so you're kind of taking the brunt of, like, you're kind of the complaint department when you're a guidance counselor, basically. Like if someone has a problem with a teacher or something, they come to you and they just complain.
So you're the punching bag, basically. That's it.
Yeah,
You take all the, oh, wow. Now, is that what you wanted? You just got into do this? I'm going to be a counselor. I want to do this. And
I mean, because I took psychology class and I did really well and I really liked it. I really liked learning about it. And then I thought I could help people. I could be a counselor. And I was just going to do the school for a few years. And then I was going to branch out and do my own private practice kind of thing. And then I eventually just realized, like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to try to help people, listen to people's problems. And this is way more fun doing the interviews and stuff. And, I get a little bit, I guess in some ways I do a little bit of counseling with the guests sometimes, but typically they're more happy and they're telling me about good things and they're excited about their new project that they're promoting or whatever. So it's a totally different ballgame.
Wow. I'm blown away. So what made you get into podcasting? What turned you into that?
I mean, I've always loved entertainment, sports and movies and music and books and things. And this was just an avenue to do it. I started listening to other podcasts and I was like, oh, I think I could do this. I think this would be fun. And yeah.
You do a great job. You really all serious enough. Over here, I joke around. You do a wonderful job. Now, you speak about 2021 coming to an end. We just lost right here. John Madden just passed away.
I saw that. So sad.
Yeah, just passed away. And it's crazy. They just did this whole tribute to him, right? It was his whole legacy. It was just aired. And did they know he was sick and then they put it out?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That's what people suspect, that they knew he was on his last legs.
All right.
They knew he was on his last legs. Do you know why? Anybody know how he passed away? I just know he passed away. I don't know the backstory of it.
I don't. I'm sure it was some natural cause. I mean, he's 85 years old, so
he's
been retired for like 10 years, something like that.
Wow.
It's been a while. So do I know what caused him to pass? No, I do not. So
you're a big football guy, right, Dr. G?
Yeah, absolutely. I love football.
You do.
Who's your team?
I'm a Florida Gator. That's again, so that kind of goes back into, I'm more of a college fan from that standpoint. And then, for a while there, I was trying to watch sports, but it was like it would be the loss of like my entire weekend if I was trying to follow college ball and pro ball. So it's like, I gotta choose one here, and so
So what do you think of Urban Meyer then? Like, you hear the latest with him where he kicked the kicker on the Jaguars and he got fired.
Yeah, well,
do you think he really kicked the kicker? Because he denies it.
Yeah, he is a highly competitive individual. He was the last really good Gator coach. I mean, and we've been floundering actually ever since he left. And so, but he was so intense. He had they call nutcracker esophagus. He was getting chest pains. He was going to the hospital, and his esophagus was going into spasm, and he thought he was dying. And he's just such an intense guy that he had to take a break from being the coaching because he just couldn't let it go. We were winning a national championship, and he was like on the phone recruiting instead of celebrating, and so he just couldn't let it go. And so considering that personality, is it likely that he has intensity and could have done that? I would see how it could be possible, but but he's a super intense guy.
He kicked the kicker.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, kicker, make your fucking kicks," or something like that.
Right.
Just kicked him, and the kicker was like, "What the like?" And this came out later, but I mean, there's been a scandal in almost every place he's been. So do you think he's done at this point? Because somebody said something like to the effect of, I couldn't imagine being the athletic director at a school and introducing this guy as the future of our sports. Right. Because he's just got such a bad history. But then again, I think people are desperate to win.
He wins, so he's going to be back if he wants to. That's the long and short of it. Is despite that, they'll let it go for a couple of years, and he'll commentate on TV, make his money there for a while. Not that he needs more money, but and then he'll come back if he wants to, because he's a winner and he knows how to at the collegiate level, anyways. And so these coaches seem to want to make it on the big stage in terms of the NFL, which is understandable. It's the biggest stage, but some of them are more, better in the collegiate setting, and so when you lose control, because in a collegiate setting he can be in control of things. In the NFL, the coaches realize that there's so many forces behind the hiring and everything else. This kicker might have been somebody that was hired by the staff, and he wanted somebody else, and so he kicked their ass because that wasn't his kicker. I could see him doing that. You see what I'm saying?
The people are going crazy, you know. And you know what? It's funny how this drips. So you got the coach kicking the kicker. How about Delta Karen? Did you know about her? She was a former cheerleader for the Raiders. That's right.
Wait,
Did you
who's
know
this?
about you don't know about Delta Karen?
Which one's this?
She was on the airplane, and
There's so many of these. Though.
She actually was walking from the bathroom, and she went to the. And here's the backstory: she was on a plane. She was went to the back bathroom. She's coming to the front, going back to her seat. At the same time, they were serving food. She was walking. She saw somebody, an 80-year-old man, without a mask, and she goes, "Mask up." They get into an argument with each other. But the thing is, I found out later he was eating because they were serving food. Right. Well, she ended up making a scene, had her mask on her chin. She smacked him, scratched him, spit at him, standing up in a little aisle on the plane. But she was also a former model. She was on Playboy, Baywatch, Delta Karen. Here, that's her smacking the guy right there. You see her mask? Wow. It's all on video.
Yeah. Wow.
And they ended up taking her away. And there's her right there as a Raiderette. And there's her after getting booked. But she actually had problems before this. I think drunk driving. She might have hit a tree or something.
Well, it's got to be hard. Think about the psychology behind that, though. Like, you're this beautiful girl, that, you know, in your prime, and all these guys are fawning over you. And then what happens? Like anybody, you get old, and so she's lost a lot of that. And that's got to. She still looks good, but I'm just saying, it's not the same. And she might be angry about that instead of just aging gracefully and just letting.
Yeah, I mean, then you got Britney Spears. But look at this poor lady, and there's a whole video of it out there. And I think I tried to play. You didn't see the video of it, Chuck?
Yeah, I've seen so many of those. Like I said, it's hard to keep track. And it's usually lately the ones it's about a mask or something like that.
Yeah,
and,
it's sad. Here's the thing. Here's the poor guy on the holidays. Who knows what the backstory is? Maybe they had some kind of situation. You don't know. There's always two sides to the story. But he's an 80-year-old guy. And you're making a scene on a plane. It's bad enough. The crazy thing is,
it's not her job if she's just a passenger. She's not
the point.
There's I agree. There's no need for the physical violence. It's just crazy. The people, and we talked about it Monday on the show. Just people are so uptight and wound up. And I think just this whole new world we're living in, people are just the little, the out there. I mean, I just don't think. I could see getting into a little argument, whatever, but then walk away. But she wouldn't even back off on the poor guy. She went, smacked him, scratched him, and then spit. But
this is the problem when people, they can't stay in their own lane. They want to control everyone else. And you can't do that. You can't control other people. Like, good luck trying to control grown adults.
Maybe it was chomping really loudly, and people can chew their food, and you just can hear it everywhere. That probably pissed her off. It's like, put the fucking mask on. I can hear you. It's like, get you, because.
But she was on Baywatch. Really, she's 50. I think she's 51. Because I started, Googling it, and she had a real career at one time. She was like, in a lot of B type movies. Baywatch, Married with Children. She was a Raiderette. She was not a Playboy model, but she was in there like lingerie, looks, whatever they.
All right. So imagine going from that to, and then just you don't have that anymore, and it's got to be frustrating.
Well, again, like you're saying, in this world, there's this movement, even in the medical industry, to dehumanize people who haven't vaccinated, for instance, or don't wear the mask, because now the medical authorities say that what you're supposed to do, and now it becomes mandated. And as soon as you mandate things, it's like prohibition. I didn't want to drink until you told me I couldn't, And so it's the same. When I say it's the same thing, it really is. It's sold as being, where you're putting us at risk, but the person who drinks at the bar could put you at risk by being a drunk driver. So that was the logic behind, one of the logics anyways, behind prohibition, or you cause other damage. And so there's always some reason people can use to justify their mandates, and that's why when you have these mask mandates and vaccine mandates as compared to, hey, we suggest you do this, because that's the way, that would be the healthy way of dealing with these things. So you didn't cause so much anger from people like this because they feel that somehow they're now superior to the non-mask wearer or superior to the vaccinated. And that's always the problem, whether it's your political party or religion. If you feel like being part of this group makes you superior to someone, you can do the most ungodly things to them.
Exactly. When people think that their way is the way that everyone else should be,
right,
and that's just not reality. Whether you like it or not, there's a lot of people that don't want to get the vaccine. There's a lot of people that don't want to wear a mask. But I understand too, like if you're on a plane, that's part of the rules or whatever. But like ADIKA said, maybe if the guy was eating, maybe he gets a little bit of a pass. I don't know, but it's also not her business to
become the enforcer of that. Exactly.
I went to the market yesterday, right? I'm in the supermarket. Everybody's online, and there's a long line. There's about 10 people, right, on each side, and there was one family that had no mask on. So my daughter goes, "They got no mask on," but she's saying a lot. I'm like, oh, let them. We're behind them. We got our mask. We're getting out of here. I'm just don't touch anything. But I don't go up and start throwing, the M&Ms at them. Mask up. I mean, this is.
What is the likelihood? As you're a doctor, so what's the likelihood that she would have contracted coronavirus from walking the aisle next to him for approximately 1 or 2 seconds?
0. Okay. And that's the whole point, is that you can't catch it that way. I mean, that's the whole point with the problem with these mandates, is they're put into such idiotic places. Then how can you trust them? It's a tough question for people. But we talked about, when you talk about authoritarian thinking, I am going to tell you what to do because it's the right thing, or I'm trying to protect you, has always been a dangerous thing. I'm going to tell you not to drink alcohol because I'm protecting you, was the basis behind that. And you could go on and on about mandates and prohibitions and how dangerous they are, because they create another level of separatism. And so, and the same thing has happened now with the, vaxxer, anti-vaxxer, the masker, anti-masker, as you create these very divisive things that become part of the fear of our society. There's an unreasonable fear of this virus, especially with Omicron now, which we're all going to catch anyways, by the way. Yeah. And so so why are we wearing masks when everybody's going to get it everyways? You see in the NFL, everybody's getting it. Why? And those guys care. They would want to win the playoffs. They don't want to get this. So why is everybody getting it? Because Omicron is that transmissible. We're all going to get it, whether you're vaccinated, boosted, or whatever the heck, So let's just move on and live our lives. This has become endemic as compared to pandemic, and the degree of fear that people have over this virus is insane and it's creating more and more of these situations. But think about how it makes how divisive it is for ourselves as far as that goes. So it's a very tough situation, and you have to be very careful about authoritarians. You guys know that I actually did recommend the Moderna vaccine, but it was a recommendation, I didn't want it mandated. I'm not a mandate person at all. Okay. And so you wear the mask if you can wear the mask out of caring for your fellow human being without being in fear, then do so. Okay. But if you can't and you're living in fear, you're more dangerous wearing the mask and being in fear than taking the mask off. And also this idea that somehow you're superior to the other person if you wear the mask. If you don't wear the mask, it becomes another divisive thing. It's like you have tattoos, stuff. People would judge you for having tattoos or not, right? And so wow, and that's such a bizarre thing if you think about it. But
they should judge me. They should.
Well, and so it is a very interesting phenomenon. That we're attacking each other over one other thing.
She makes the mask people look bad. I mean, she takes the mask and she spits at people, and you know what? I know what the thing is.
Which shows she's not comfortable wearing the mask, by the way. Okay,
yeah, but that's what that shows. Because her name is not. When you Google her, she can't find the episode of Married with Children. She's upset about this. You can't find her on Baywatch. But now, if you put crazy woman on airplane, you will find this on. This is what you'll find.
Who invited you to come
and I can
drink your ass up? Don't you dare talk to me like that.
God damn it.
You stand your step up. Stand your ass up. Stand your ass up.
Sit down, Karen.
Karen?
You're a goddamn Karen. Sit down. Sit down, Karen.
Sit down.
Listen, you're the pussy.
Oh, no, you're the dick.
You're the.
What about him? Mask up.
It is so hilarious.
You got
Oh
your
my
mask
gosh.
down, bitch.
Sir. Did you call me a bitch?
Yes, I did.
Look, that triggered her.
Now you're going to jail. That's assault. You're going
Wow.
to jail. As soon as we get in Atlanta, you're going to jail. Bitch. Karen.
She just spit. There's the card.
Going to jail. Bitch.
You fucking piece of
Alright.
shit.
Piece of pussy. Sit down, Karen.
Fuck you.
Sit down, Karen. Sit down,
Alright.
Karen. Look, she punched me.
Put your
Slashed my
fucking
face.
mask on. Tell him to put his mask on.
But then she's
As she doesn't have a mask on. That's the
She has a
hilarious
no
part.
mask. Where's the security on the
Put your
plane?
fucking mask on. Put
This
your
guy
fucking
gets up.
mask
Put yours on, bitch.
I won't put my mask on.
I agree
won't put my
that
mask
She's
on.
drunk.
You put your
she must be
mask on.
hammered. I agree.
I agree.
Thank you.
You know, she still looks pretty good. I will say, like,
That's your take home. You know.
she looks good.
That's it. Yeah.
The
Exactly.
picture you showed earlier was like a mugshot, but she looks
Right.
Man in the face, spit on him,
I like the voice. She went crazy. I love the voice in the back, But you know what? It is. I think
That's
the bitch.
embarrassing on him too, though. Like he's calling her a
Right,
bitch, and like you're an
bitch, and-
80-year-old man, and like I guess
And-
like when you turn 80, maybe you just don't give a shit anymore. Like, you're a
He has
fucking
the right. You know what? At 80
I've
years
lived
old,
this long. See if you can.
Yeah, I
At
don't think. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing society anymore.
At 80 years old. That's why when you said judge me with the tattoos, I'm going to be the 80-year-old guy on the plane with the tattoo. And if anybody says boo to me on the plane, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip. I flip out now. What the hell am I talking about? I need to talk to Chuck off the air. Chuck, I need therapy. Help me. But she was hammered. And the backstory, Maui Swift, and I see a couple of comments out there. If you look her up, she was in trouble. I think maybe, I don't know, hitting a tree. There was some drunk driving incident. And so she has issues, the poor girl. But the key word bitch triggered her. So maybe Hollywood ruined her. Maybe there was some casting call on the couch that went a little too far.
But I think it's like Dr. G said, it's with this mentality that like your way of thinking is superior. And I'm not, whether it's masks or politics or whatever, like when you can't see the other person's side of something, an issue, that's really scary. It's bad on society. Like society's going to crumble if we can't come to, because we used to just, it's like, I don't know if you guys are old enough. You remember like back in the old presidential elections, it was like you were Bush or Clinton. And then it was like, oh, you voted for Clinton? Oh, okay, that's cool. I voted for Bush. And it was just like, nobody cared. Nobody was like, going crazy like they are now. It's
so insane. But then you know what? Who'll save the day? Britney Spears. That's right. She refuses now to do any music. That's right. There she goes.
Speaking of people who still look good.
She looks great, and she said she'd get more respect doing a spread for Playboy than writing a book. That's what's
spread, huh?
Yeah, a spread. That's right. I'd like to see that, huh? Dr. G.
Have you seen her Instagram? It's like softcore porn now.
I know.
All right.
It's so like 22-year-old me or whenever like I was in love with her like every other guy when she was like 20. I mean, I couldn't believe what I'm seeing. I'm like, oh my god, she's dancing topless. She's got her hands covered in things.
She's putting it all out there. I mean, she did a post. Wow. I mean, Britney Spears says she'd get more respect doing a spread for Playboy than if she wrote a book in a lengthy post about what she's gone through the last 13 years. And she says, I had experience 3 years ago where I stopped believing in God. That's what and she's 40 years old.
Okay, but I have a medical question then about this for Dr. G. So, because there's something when I look at these videos, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the videos on Instagram that she posts. There's something with her eyes. Like, her eyes are like this. They're very, like, dilated pupils. I don't know what the term is, but, like, she just looks like she has crazy eyes. Is that a medication, or is she just, like...
Some people call it sexy eyes.
Right.
No, there's different because
there's certain medicines that can affect the pupils, but I haven't seen these videos, so I don't. I'm not going to come.
Eyes look very like it. Just because I saw her in the 90s and stuff, and her eyes were normal. She was totally normal. But now she's just got these like crazy eyes. Like it's bizarre. I don't know what's causing that, if it's temporary or permanent and it's weird too because she's on this conservatorship or whatever, which I didn't know what that word meant. And everyone's like, free Britney. And I'm like, maybe she was on that conservatorship for a reason. So there might be some issues that the dad is trying to protect her, and now she's free, and maybe that's not the best thing.
Yeah, one of her posts, it's just a black post, and it says, "When you wake up, pray." It's just she's being a little odd out there right now, but
a little
again, but again, does she have the right to be odd? Yes, I mean this goes into this idea of what is normal and how like you're saying in terms of this learning to accept things. I know like some of the conversation was about don't blame the 80-year-old, and again, it's not about blaming either one of these people. It's recognizing that both of them lost a sense of humanity for each other. They didn't see each other as human, and they were able to attack each other. So both had an issue, and so now one was more the initiator and instigator, of course, as far as that goes. But was she affected by alcohol? Maybe, but that doesn't change that it makes it okay, And so
I mean,
the
it's been a
idea
long
is-
time.
and-
She's been a long time going through a mental health issue. Was it since 2008 or something? It's been,
right with Brittany, but I'm just saying. But again, so can we see these people just like, I have something going on with her eyes. I wonder if there's something going on with her. She's a reflection of me. We have to continue to see people as part of this groundswell of humanity that we are. And so, and is it very not normal for me to like look into a plane like that and make diagnoses? Sure, a person's got this, because that's what I do.
I'm not trying to judge really. I'm more just like concerned, and I feel like there's something like a piece of the puzzle that the general public doesn't know about.
Oh,
100%.
Certainly, and certainly, but that's the whole point, is that there's people better at making that decision than we are, as far as just being observers.
I mean, think of her life, how she started out as just a child actor or actress. It's the hardest thing. What you're going through, you're missing your childhood, number one, and if time will tell you back in history, even back in the days from the Little Rascals, and if you look at like a guy like Alfalfa, all the drama and trouble. Maybe somebody came out like a Spanky came out normal or somebody, but most of them all just came out damaged. Look at Robert Blake.
Remember Different Strokes? Like that whole cast.
The whole cast, right?
Right.
Gary Coleman didn't become a security guard, but I can understand like, the parent. What happened? Like all the money.
But like the brother, Todd Bridges,
Todd Bridges,
robbed a bank or something.
Yeah,
and then the sister was living in a trailer smoking meth or something. And she died. It was overdosed or something. It's sad.
Mitch Weissman, he was on the Happy Days with Aaron Moran, and look what he got to kiss her. See, and Mitch got to kiss somebody who was damaged. See, he knows what it's like, Mitch Weissman.
Well, it goes into like your history of going into guidance counseling. I mean, people have certain talents, like say acting. It doesn't mean they know how to deal with the stress. And does anybody working on that side of things, they deal with their nutrition, all the other things that if you had a coach or somebody else assigned to these people from the get-go, of the childhood actors, etc., and their parents too. See, we have to look at people more comprehensively as go, gosh, they can really act. Gosh, they can really sing. Gosh, they can really, which may be true, play football. And they're thrown into this area, especially with money, and that money can change a lot of perspectives, of course, people around you and how they see you. And there's almost nothing given to the deeper human being. They're seen as a football player, an actor, a singer. We're not seeing them as the human they are, that have the same foibles and things that we do. They're just not, they are thrust into a role where they just cannot, they're not given the time, or is it considered important to deal with the psychology of being that actor, that football player, etc. So we need to.
True. Sometimes that's partly what makes him so great. Like Urban Meyer, if we go back to him, like he's so intense and he's so driven, but that's what makes him win. But then at the cost of being an asshole, it sounds like a little bit, where he's kicking kickers and then all these other scandals and grabbing girls' asses and all this shit. So. That may be part of the reason what makes them so great is they're so focused on this acting, singing, football, whatever, that they're neglecting these other areas of their life.
Right. Like during that time, Aaron Hernandez, who was probably already developing signs of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, even while he was at the University of Florida, there was even there was some murders that occurred in Gainesville at the time that was highly suspicious that he did them. And all of that was overlooked because he was a really good football player, right? And so how much help did he need, and how much he didn't get because he was good at football? Okay. And so we have to see people, they're commodities at this point. They're talents that make money for other people. He made a lot of money for himself at what expense? Okay. So that's the whole point of this is like, wow, Aaron Hernandez is a bad guy. No. He played football, got chronic traumatic encephalopathy, did horrible things. Okay. And so how do we catch those kids early on at not looking at them as talents that can be used? Okay. That's what Brittany was, a talent that could be used. And so, and how much psychopathology she developed from it, I don't know. And so, or was there was she already predisposed that way? So, but the key for all of us, especially Christmas season, everybody, is see that each other is human. We can disagree without being angry with each other. We can see somebody without wearing a mask and say, wow, I wonder what's behind them not wearing that mask. And if it doesn't seem like I should talk to them, I can just move on without worrying about it because I'm wearing a mask or whatever, or I've vaccinated. And so see the humanity into each other, everybody, no matter how different they appear, because in the end, they are the same you. And so we're looking at differences when we should be looking at all the things that bring us together. To me, that's also...
Dr. G. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it. It's very sensitive, Dr. G.
I agree.
It's the truth of who we are, though. I mean, and so and these differences should just make it interesting, right? The fact that I'm a Florida Gator and wear some orange and blue should be, hey, you're a Gator. How fun is that? But it's not the core essence of what you are. If you think that, then you become a problem because now I'm just Florida Gator because I'm better than you. And now that becomes a problem, right? Can it just become something interesting? It really can. And so, but that's why, again, Christ consciousness and Christmas time is such a beautiful time. It can be if we see all those things in each other, because that's really what Turn the Other Cheek meant and all the other things. And so was that we could see these things in each other. And I have a lot of empathy for both the old guy and for the Delta Karen or whatever she is called now, because I see those things. Have I gotten angry and why did I do that? And done things not as probably not as bad as what that was or whatever else. But same thing goes with the old guy. Have I reacted sometimes when I realized, wow, I should recognize this is a poor drunk lady, and I'll just, how do I diffuse the situation? How do I help her? That's not where he came from, So we all have opportunities in every moment, people, to see these things happening. It does. And so that we can actually reach out to that other person who's in pain. Okay. And so she was in pain.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because that happened to me the other day. I was having a disagreement with somebody, and I just flat out said, I go, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? This is like, you're like attacking me. And I'm like, I don't feel like I did anything to get attacked. Like, what? And then he's just like, and then he apologized, and he was like, I'm sorry, I'm having a rough day. There's problems with my wife or something like that. And I was like, wow, I totally pulled a 180 with this guy, because I just asked, like, are you okay? Is everything okay? I'm worried about you. And it's like you said, the empathy for each other.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that's a nice way to end this year of 2021. And you know what? We made new friends, Chuck. Love to have you back on again. You got to do a couple more with us. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, and like to have you on. It's a lot of fun. Good conversations we're talking about. Especially, I know nothing about sports, but I know the whole story about Aaron Hernandez. What a story that was.
Yeah, that's a crazy. Did you see that? I think there's a documentary, or was it a?
Yeah, there is. It's a.
Whatever it was, I saw that, and it was just fascinating.
I think it's on Netflix or something, but yeah.
That's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. But then supposedly he was a gang member too, and it goes deep. I think we should have another conversation about that one day. That's a heavy one. But right now, it is the witching hour. It's time to get out of here because people want to return their stuff from Christmas. They still have days off, Dr. G. Is it safe to go out?
Yes.
Okay, tell people they could go, Dr. G. Make them
everybody, it's get out there. This Omicron variant, I'm actually, the article that we're releasing now, calling it a Christmas miracle. I've taken it that far as it goes. It's, we're all going to get this. It amounts to being a cold. If you do the things we talked about, taking care of yourselves and all the things we talk about in terms of prevention treatment, whether you vaccinated or not, okay, is you're going to get this either way. Because that's there was just showing that even with boosters, you should probably going to get this anyhow, folks. So, but it's a cold. Okay,
I don't want to get it, Dr. G. I don't want to get it.
People have been getting colds for a long ass time, folks. Okay, it's time to move past this. If you have, wear a mask if you have symptoms of a respiratory virus, whether it's coronavirus or not, out of respect for other people. If you don't, then you really don't need to. Go out and travel. And if you feel nervous, wear a mask or don't travel. Because remember, that's the whole point. If you're scared to travel, don't travel. If you want to travel, do. This goes into the freedom that we actually have, because the people who don't want to travel probably shouldn't travel, and that's okay, And so, but
thank you, Donnell. Thank you very much, Dr. G. Okay, to prevent this, we are going to probably get it. Knock on wood, I don't get it. But if I want to get some special vitamins to keep my immune system up, I go to middlepathmedicine.com. I put in the discount code coffee20. It's going to give me a discount, right? What do you recommend for me to take right now to build my immune system to go out there?
The number one thing we can do is work on stress management. We can get adequate sleep. We can get up in the morning and have our morning routine. We can have our meditation. We can eat a whole food diet. Okay, so now this after Christmas, let's cut back on the candies and things that do affect our immune system negatively. So remember, when you're talking about what the lifestyle is, the first intervention. Supplements add to that, okay? But if you're going to just drink Coca-Cola all day long and then say I'm going to take vitamin C and it's going to make much of a difference, see, that's where you're going to be mistaken. And you have the right to drink Coca-Cola. It's just not your healthiest decision. And so because it's not about good or bad, it's just not a healthy decision to smoke and or drink Coca-Cola. And so, but can you take extra vitamin C, especially if you're feeling stressed? Yes, especially if you're exercising heavier, etc. And so systemic C, 1,000 milligrams several times a day. We recommend this Whole Immune, which is a beta-glucan for his immune stimulant. The basic nutritional protocol is all over our website. Those supplements are really good for people, especially who are doing some efforts to taking care of their own health, and that will make you healthier when you face this cold, okay? And so the current variant, Omicron, really is much less serious. I'm not saying not serious at all. And if you have certain pre-existing conditions, there's reasons to boost and do these other things. But for the most part, folks, you're going to get this. It's okay. It really is okay. And we can get back to seeing each other, taking our masks off, being human to each other, and hugging and kissing and doing all the things that we should be doing, because that's part of this humanity that we really all need to be part of.
That's nice, Dr. G. Thank you very much. You made me feel a little better now. You made this neurotic Jewish guy feel better. Remember, everybody, discount coffee20, middlepathmedicine.com. They'll answer some questions if you're not feeling good. Otherwise than that, if you see Dr. G in your area, give him a hug. Tell him that ADIKA sent you. Until then, everybody, we are going to get out of here. I want to thank Chuck for being here. Thank you very much, Chuck.
Thanks for having me on.
I want you guys, his link for his show is going to be in our description. Click on it, subscribe to it, tell him ADIKA sent you. He's trying to get to 1,000, so help him get there. And for you people that don't know about my vinyl show, Talking Wax, we do that the first Saturday of each month, except this, because of the holidays, we switched it around. But Talking Wax is not going nowhere, everybody. It's still going to be under the playlist for our games, our vinyl games, and also name that tune. We're going to add to that. But the name of the channel is going to be called Artist on Record. It's going to be a place where you get your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. I'm thinking, looking at Chuck, I'm going to have him come on a couple special co-hosts with me. I'm going to ask him if he'll do that with me as well. And we'll talk rock and roll, we'll talk vinyl, and we'll be ridiculous with each other. But it's all about a smile and a hug. And remember, everybody, I love you. Until then, everybody, I want to thank you for your donations. It really helps keeping this channel alive more than you think. You don't even know. And remember, find us on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all that good stuff. ADIKA Live, Artist on Record also is on Spotify and all that stuff. You'll find it. Just ADIKA Live is everywhere. Just look it up. Until then, everybody, enjoy your new year. Be safe. Love each other. And until then, we're out of here, children. Mazel and love. Happy New Year. We love you here. Boom.
It's coffee talk with ADIKA. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here. With Stefan and all his friends.
All right. Let's do another show. What the heck? We'll do a show, us three. We got it together. We could do
That was
this.
fun.
That was fun, right?
good.
But we're still on the air. Everybody,
Oh, we are?
do me
No.
a favor.
He does
click
that, yeah.
over here or click over there. You'll find something good to share on our playlist and all that stuff. And make sure you check out. Links are in our description down below. And Dr. G, Monday, 9 a.m. You're going to do this Monday on Instagram?
Yes, I am. Every
Yeah,
Monday.
all right. 9 a.m. Check out Dr. G. Until then, everybody, we love you. God bless. Mwah. God bless us all. Everyone, Tiny Tim.
Peace
Thank
and love,
you.
everybody.
All right. Peace and love. Bye.